Welcome to the AHCA second AGM. It's great to see everyone here. It's a really good opportunity for us all to get together and, I guess, share some stories and do a bit of networking, all the things we weren't able to do for the last 2 years. So it's really great to see everyone here. I'd first like to start off with our acknowledgement of country. In the spirit of recognition, AHCA acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia, their connection to land, sea and community. We pay respects to their elders, past, present, and extend their respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people today. So today's agenda, we're running a little bit late, but we'll be able to catch up on time. Obviously our welcome. I'll go through the President's report, talk about some of the achievements that we've had in the last 18 months since our last AGM. Richard's kindly going to come up and speak about a position paper that the AHCA are putting together at the moment. Fraser will then come over and go through the finance report. Cassandra will then present the results of the voting for the Executive Committee. I'll follow up with future activities. And then if anyone does have any questions or any comments, this is a great opportunity for you to raise your voices, so we encourage that at the end of the session as well. So firstly, got a bit of a speech here, so we'll carry on. There we go. Look, it's been an absolute pleasure being your president for the last 18 months. With the support of my amazing executive committee, we've been able to achieve a great deal, even with the challenges of COVID, restricting our meetings and our networking events and being able to do the things that we can do. I'm proud to say that we've seen growth in our membership. So currently we've got, well, as of June this year, we've got 107 individual members, 15 consultant businesses, 9 corporate businesses and 11 non-corporate businesses. So to put that into perspective, we've had an increase of about 30 individual members, 1 consulting business, 3 corporate and 5 non-corporate. So that's a really great achievement for an association that is so young. The AHC's vision is as true today as it was when we started the association over a couple of years in 2018. The Asbestos and Hazardous Materials Consultants Association is an association for industry professionals within the asbestos and hazardous materials community. Our aim is to drive and encourage best practice through consultation and knowledge sharing. So in terms of knowledge sharing, that's really been our key driver, particularly during the challenges of COVID. Even with these challenges, we've been able to run some great sessions. So in March 2021, we ran our second in a series of lead webinars with Dr. Julia Norris from Ahca Health and Alan Lai from New South Wales EPA, discussing lead paint and dust, particularly waste requirements and the health risks associated with lead exposure. This was a well-attended session with many questions to our audience, and we all know why that was the case. That webinar was quickly followed by our first lead roundtable session attended by our business members, which was magnificent. In August, we were joined by Laurent Fenoy from CoLabs TM and Carl Straudens from Safe Environments to discuss asbestos analysis through SEM, TEM and XRD and the advantages of each of those methods. We obviously know that a lot of us have gotten ARDA accreditation for asbestos analysis, and it's good to understand how we can use other methods and the advantages of those as well. So it was a great session by those 2 speakers. In October 2021, with the update of the WA guidelines, the AHCA hosted a webinar with Irina Otnes from WA Department of Health, Peter Alderman, a WA accredited auditor, site auditor, and Luke Munchens, a certified environmental practitioner. This was an opportunity to understand the regulators, auditors and practitioners' perspective to the changes associated with that update. It's something that I'm really proud of. In the month of November last year, the AHCA was pleased to run Asbestos Focus Month. This was a great month to build awareness around asbestos within the greater community with the tagline, "This November, think twice about asbestos." This was an opportunity for our members to get involved. We were pleased to interview some of our industry leaders to allow us to develop short, informative videos we could share with the greater community. We also shared knowledge through communications and posts. The month culminated with a free webinar titled Sampling Asbestos, the Good, the Bad and the Ugly. We had representatives from the AHCA, NATA, AOH and Ahca present on the day. This was a magnificent session, surprisingly attended by about 700 people. So because we opened it up to everyone, and because we had the backing of NATA and the AOH, we were really able to get a national audience with a lot of people joining that. So that was really impressive, and we're looking to do that again this year. In April 2022, so this year, after 2 years of restrictions, we were excited to host our first face-to-face seminar. We booked our doolies in Regent's Park for a breakfast seminar, and we're joined by Sharon Owens and Peter Shearer from New South Wales EPA, who introduced the New South Wales Asbestos Awareness Campaign. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that on their LinkedIn sites, on Facebook and a number of other things. I guess we were the first organisation or association that was shared with, so we feel great about that. We also had Dr. Georgia Catter from Asbestos Safety Eradication Agency, who provided an asbestos research update. It was great to see what both Ahca and New South Wales EPA are doing to bring awareness to and better manage asbestos. Blue Mountains Council and Ahca hosted the Asbestos Safety and Management Conference in May 2022. The AHCA was invited to present on the role of an LAA and competent person during asbestos removal works. Big thanks to Richard Wilkinson, who presented alongside me during the local government workshop. We received some great feedback, and it was great to be part of the conference. In addition to the webinars and seminars we've presented, we have had our executive team and working group working in the background, discussing and working on the key issues facing our industry. The Asbestos in Soil Working Group, chaired by Leroy Brown, has been a real success story, given our members a voice to the regulators and really advocated change in that area. This has included exercises including the review of the Safe Work New South Wales Asbestos in or on soil guideline, which I'm assured will come out at some point in the future. And reviews and communications that have come through from New South Wales EPA, which I'm sure has frustrated a lot of people. We've really been on the front foot to express, I guess, our concern about these and really draw up some opportunities to come together with not only ourselves, but other associations such as Ahca, Ahca, Safe Work New South Wales and FMADS coming together really to drive the industry in a better way. The lead working group jointly chaired by myself and Nigel, have been formed and is currently working on the development of a lead paint and dust management code of practice. This is in progress but needs some support, so if anyone's keen to be part of this lead working group, I'd encourage you to come and see me. We're really trying to drive a more consistent approach to lead paint and dust management in the industry, and if we can get through this and get it accredited or certified by Safe Work, I'm sure we can then work on the removal process as well. It is something that is of concern to everyone here. I'm sure we'll work on it together to get a better outcome for the industry. The AHCA is also part of the Demolition and Asbestos Consultative Committee. As part of this relationship, we've been invited to be part of a number of industry working groups. This includes the Standards Australia update of AS 5381, the demolition of structures. Just had a meeting with them today, and we are working on that update, and we're hoping to get a draft out by March. The Ahca National Guideline for conducting asbestos assessments. I think that is very well overdue, and it's great that Ahca are taking the charge on that and have invited us to be part of that working group, really to bring a consistent approach to asbestos assessments nationwide. And then we've also got some additional industry reference groups that we're working on. The AHCA continues to collaborate with the Australian Institute of Occupational Hygienists, with regular meetings and plans afoot to run another national webinar during Asbestos Awareness Month. So watch the space for that. In the past year, the AHCA has formed a memorandum of understanding with NORAC, who's the National Organisation of Asbestos Consultants in the UK. This will give us an opportunity to share knowledge with our UK counterparts going forward into the future. So you would have noticed that we had an expression of interest for some working groups that we've got going on in the future. One of those is particularly to work with NORAC and find a better way in which we can collaborate with them and take some of their knowledge and they can take some of our knowledge and really allow both industries to work better. I'm very proud of the achievements in the past 18 months, with an increase of memberships, knowledge sharing webinars and seminars, positive outcomes from the working groups that drive best practice, and collaboration within industry groups and other associations. I'd like to finish by thanking the AHCA Executive Committee personally for all the efforts that they've put in over the past 18 months. We typically meet up, just so everyone's aware of what we do. We're not just hanging around and organising some sessions. So we typically meet up every 2 to 4 weeks to discuss organising, functions such as this and the webinars that we've had on, feedback to working groups and industry groups, develop communications and plans for the future. Without our executive team, who take the time out of their busy schedules for free, we couldn't have achieved any of the things that we've done so far. So a big thank you to all of them. So to pencil them on, to point them out particularly, so Leroy Brown, he's been an amazing vice president, keeping me on track and challenging me and really taking charge of those working groups. Cassandra Fernandez, for always jumping on communications, fielding inquiries and holding me to account. Fraser for managing our finances, organising payments to our suppliers, organising these functions and managing our memberships. Richard for supporting me in communications, working groups and development of position papers around AHCA stance. And Chris Thomas for driving the asbestos in soil agenda and being a great confidant. So just generally, thank you everyone for putting your trust in me. It's been a great 18 months as your president. I'm really looking forward to what the new committee can do going into the future. I'll ask Richard to come up now and talk about our position paper and introduce that to everyone.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Apparently, Scotty says every time I mention Nata, he's going to buy a drink. So we'll see how that works out for him. We've been working on some position papers in the industry, and an area where we feel that we need to address is the reliability in air monitoring and metrological traceability. Unfortunately, there are consultancies out there who aren't NATA accredited, and unfortunately, they're releasing results that do not have validity, do not have traceability, and don't fall under NATA accreditation. There you go, Sky. We're up and running. Good stuff. The concerns are that we could see it as irresponsible, unethical, and leading to the publication of air monitoring results, which are generally used to reoccupy areas after asbestos work or investigation works. These results don't have any traceability, and I think we all know in this room what that means, that we can't hang our hat on those results and we don't have confidence in them. A lot of people in this room are business owners, business leaders, and you've all paid good money to have NATA accreditation. The regulators in the room as well, and they want us to basically produce results that they can hang their hat on. Their code of practice is based on that. Is the area deemed suitable for reoccupation? If we haven't got faith in those results, then what are our issues? Well, as an industry, people look down on what we do. We don't have confidence from the regulators. We don't have confidence from the governing bodies, and we don't have confidence from the trade unions who influence a lot of the sites we work on. So what we want to get out of this position paper is to establish that unaccredited air monitoring should not be used and must not be used in relation to asbestos works. Sample volumes obtained from unaccredited air monitoring results cannot be used to reoccupy areas after removal works. We have no confidence in those results. These are recommendations we want to take up, and we want to push forward. We want labs to move towards using that accredited mechanisms to reassure that their results can be relied upon, that we have integrity in what we do. And most of all, we want to really push for stakeholders outside this industry. We all know what the right thing and wrong thing is to do. What is important is that we bring the government departments, so we have some really good links with, see a really moving forward in that space to support us. The regulator, I know Safe Work behind the scenes have concerns like we do. And what's really important is that we push for reliability in the results, integrity in the result, and something that we can hang our hat on as an industry. And to do that, we need the confidence of the trade unions. Now, whatever we think of those guys, they play an absolute fundamental role in maintaining a watchdog on some of the tier 1, tier 2 contractors. If we're at sites and we're not producing results that we can rely on, then they're going to question our integrity. We need them on our side to achieve what we want to achieve in the industry. So we need the unions on board, we need Safe Work on board, and that's what we're trying to achieve. So it's all about air monitoring that has no reliability. We need to get that out of the industry. That's about it. Thank you.
All right. Evening, everyone. Good to see the heads over here. So I've got a pretty boring part, to be honest. Probably one of the busiest parts. Like over the 2021 year, we had the COVID hit everything. So the AHCA made the decision to hand out the free memberships. So we still had some pain in that year. So the numbers were low that year, but we still had some money in the kitty at the end. So that's came there. Like, I'm not going to bore you, go through every line there. You can see yourselves where we still acquired 4 new businesses in 2021. And then we still managed to gain 22 new individuals during the COVID period. And hopefully everyone was welcome to the free membership that year. So it made my life a little bit easier, to be honest. And then the following last year, 21-22, it was a ramp up again. So managed to get everyone back on board. 17 new members that year, 34 new individual members, which is boosting the numbers up there for not for profit. So we can have host nights like this and push the guys on. I must back what John says. Everyone puts in lots of effort for free in their own personal time. We might have a dinner every 6 months or something, but that's just to say a pat on the back for the guys who've done all the efforts during that time. But yeah, so look, we make some income from these led webinars and things like that online, but that all gets pumped back into trying to make change here. So